Welcome to the In My Opinion show with Ronald, Barrington, Robinson, and friends, seen on internet 24 hours, 7 days a week. I want to welcome our millions of viewers worldwide. Folks, when you listen to these programs and so forth, hopefully you will share them with all your friends, okay, so that the world will know what's happening. All right, we try to bring the most current news available to you, and the truth as best as we know it to be. I want to welcome my very talented co-host, Mrs. Jackie Williams.
Hello, everyone.
And Mr. Henry Hatter.
Hi, Ron and Jackie. Welcome.
New political maps being withdrawn for elections ordered for 2020. Michigan voters. Politicians no longer will draw their own district maps. A three-judge panel is determined to stop gerrymandering. And this has been going on. Both parties do it, okay? But it appears that the Republicans got their hands caught in a cookie jar, okay, in 2010, which was certainly disfavorable to Democrats. Why can't these two parties just be fair with each other? That's all. Be fair with each other and stop all of this foolishness. Do you know how many millions it costs, to rectify all of this stuff? Just be honest. Be honest, okay? That's the trouble with the world nowadays. People don't want to be honest with one another. Tell the truth. Tell the truth. If you can't tell the truth, just say, no comment. It's that simple. No comment. Henry, what is your thoughts?
Well, gerrymandering has been around a long time. I think there was an elected official by the name of Jerry back about 1800, early 1800s, that decided to draw up districts that would be favorable to his candidacy, and there were no laws restricting it, and he did it, and that became a practice. And the next time, and I don't remember what party, let's assume that he was a Republican, because they would have the knowledge to think through these things.
I'll watch it.
And the next time the Democrats had that opportunity, they said, well, we're going to do the same thing.
Right.
And so it's just back and forth. And I have learned to live with it because human beings are basically flawed. They do whatever just like Thomas Hobbes said in Leviathan, that men are evil and that they are flawed. And this is what you see. Whether you look at it, when you look at gerrymandering or look at how we run the country today, it's the same old thing. But we have to look beyond some of these flaws. And whatever benefits the Republicans get from this, and now they're going to have to go back and redraw those lines. And am I hurt by that? No, I'm not hurt by it. Do I feel bad about it? No. Because we've always done it. That's how we do it. And we've talked about changing the law for years. And we just never did. And this time, I think, right after the election, the legislature decided to go back and change some of those rules that they didn't like that was passed in the last election. And so that challenged the party system to do something about gerrymandering because they thought that the Republicans had an unfair advantage in the election. Mm-hmm. So, and the judges ruled on it. The lower court judges ruled on it here recently and said that the Republicans were guilty of gerrymandering and it gave unfavorable advantage to Republicans over the Democrats. So now we'll have to go back and draw those lines. Whatever the people do, if they decide this in a court that's fair and just, because they had to have a Republican on there. No, they had to, if the House, no, if the governor is a Democrat, and there are three judges, generally they like to keep two of those belong to the office of the governor, mm-hmm. and one a Republican. So they decided among themselves to call the Republicans on the gerrymandering issue. And I don't see anything wrong with it. I don't think the Republicans should feel bad. I think the Republicans and Democrats should get along with it.
Yeah, they're not going to feel bad. They're just going to lose.
Lose what?
Because the way that they was drawn, it was favorable to them winning in so many different districts.
Yeah, but they're not going to go back and take the positions.
No, they're not going to take a position, but I'm saying the elections are going to show different, is what I'm saying. There's going to be a chance where it's going to be fair. It's not going to be just a dominance, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, but the thing is, nobody gets punished here.
No, I'm not saying they get punished, but I'm saying they're going to get punished in the polls because it's going to be more fair. So it's not going to be like a sweeping.
I have no problem with that.
Yeah, it's not going to be sweeping. So that's really good. This is getting scary that you keep agreeing with me.
But you know what I feel? You know what I feel that's going to happen, though? I see it. I hope not. Republicans are going to appeal this 3-judge panel, all right, which will probably wind up at the Supreme Court. You know how long that's going to take. It'll go beyond the 2020 election, all right? So as far as 2020 is concerned, the gerrymandering will still be in effect.
Well,
okay, regardless of what this 3-judge panel has determined.
Was that a ballot question and the people voted on it?
Yeah, we voted on that. It was on the ballot.
Isn't going to change that.
It was on the ballot, and
the people have spoken, folks.
Yeah, in Michigan. Now in Michigan. But there are several states that still have...
We don't care about the other states.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Because we want it to be fair across the United States.
Okay, but you have no jurisdiction in the other states.
I don't have jurisdiction in a lot of things, but I have an opinion. Okay. So I'm saying...
I'll buy you a cup of coffee.
I appreciate that, but my point is we handle it in Michigan, but there are so many other states that need to have this appeal happen because it's just unfair, and you're never going to have a fair report of both sides the way that is.
But as time goes by, somebody will still say Michigan is still unfair for a reason. They will argue that back and forth.
Yeah.
And I don't see where it's really hurting government at all. That's the nasty attitudes that we are allowed to have in government.
I don't agree, because what it is if the gerrymandering, the way that they draw up the districts is favorable to Republicans, then the loudest voice in Michigan would be Republicans versus being diverse.
But
so that's why I disagree.
Jackie, here's what happened.
Henry.
Miss Williams, I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. You're fine. I just want to call your name too.
I want to be politically correct and give women respect and dignity at the table. Okay, I apologize, Miss Williams. No, what was I? Okay. But when Democrats are elected under the new order, they will have the same advantages that Democrats or Republicans have.
And I hope that they will learn from that.
And that should square things up when we get on with our lives. Leave that behind us.
But like you said, this is the problem in the Senate. This is the problem in the House. This is a problem all over our government. We need to learn how to work together and not work against each other. We might have difference of opinion, but we need to be fair when we come to the table.
Have you ever seen how Dale Kildee's, our 5th district, is designed? Now, in the beginning, in 1789, when they put together the Northwest Territories, they said districts, quote unquote, should be as square and contiguous as possible. That means that a district should look more like this paper, to be as square and contiguous as possible. But take a look at Dale Kildee's district. It looks like a salamander. It goes up into past Bay City and up into Antietam County, some place up there, and it goes as far as Oakland County. That's and he chose to carve it out that way.
He carved it out, or he did it himself?
Yeah. Who else would do it?
I mean, how did he get to do it?
Because it was favorable for him to do that, and that might have been done Not this time. It might have been done several years ago.
I'm sure it was done several years ago because I didn't remember.
And there was nothing wrong with it.
So now you're saying that it's not a fair territory.
Now remember we said the district should be like this.
Right.
As square and contiguous as possible.
Right.
But I never yelled at his district being that way.
But if it's wrong, regardless to if it's Democrat or
Republican. It's not wrong. It's what people decided upon.
But I'm saying, who are the people?
The Michigan voters. They allowed this to happen. But now they voted and said no more of that.
Oh, so you're saying his district will shrink as well?
No, when they draw the line.
When they redraw the line.
They would change everybody.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, fair is fair across the board, whether it's Republican or Democrat. I agree. Fair is fair. So if his district is not drawn fairly, then it needs to be redrawn. I agree.
Well, it's fair in the circumstances that it was drawn. I saw no problem with it.
But now
But the Republicans just surrounded him.
Oh, so you're saying yours is even bigger? Oh my goodness!
You see,
you had me over here feeling sorry for you.
Yeah, this district is carved up like a salamander.
Oh, I'm sitting at the table with Donald Trump. Oh my goodness!
Round in all directions.
Look at how he made. Oh, see how he broke. Oh my goodness!
Oh
my goodness!
Hopefully, 220 will set the record straight. Okay, as far as this gerrymandering mess is concerned. Okay, we're gonna change gears here. Governor Whitmer has proposed a 45-cent increase in gas taxes to fix the damn roads. Those are her words. In Michigan, transportation officials claim Michigan roads are the worst in the nation. Now, I'm going to ask my learned panelists or co-hosts, how would you fix the roads, Henry?
Very carefully. But I'm going to yield to Jackie because Jackie, she gives me things to think about.
So that means, what are you saying? You can't think?
No, I just...
You want a copy of me? Oh,
yes,
okay.
I want a copy of it, Jackie.
Okay, so I remember clearly that Snyder brought a proposal to fix the roads, and we hiked the gas tax
to 2.1 billion.
Okay, so what happened to that money?
That money, that wasn't enough.
But I'm saying, what roads did we fix with it?
Well, you see all of the construction going on out there now. The construction is going all over, and that money won't last very long. We run out of that money very quickly.
But I'm saying in Genesee County, I didn't see it.
But it's going on in Genesee County.
I don't see it. I think it wasn't the truth. I think it was just like the rest of the stuff. He did not tell us the truth because we did this hike in taxes. We took all of these, to me, we could fix it in so many different ways, not because we keep hitting the consumer. But I know that under Snyder's administration, they removed the business tax. See, and it seems like every time a Republican get in office, they help the bigger guy and they hurt the smaller guy. So if the businesses, because last I checked, it's not consumers driving around with the ton trucks. It's the businesses. So how can you take the tax away from them and hurt us? Because the weight of my car is not tearing up the roads. So they're tearing up the roads, but they're not responsible for helping fix the roads. So I propose that you put back the business tax so people who are able to handle that tax can help fix the roads that they destroy. Not hit the consumer with another tax. We've been hit enough in Michigan. We have the highest insurance. We have the bad, the worst roads. So why do you want to keep hitting us when you keep letting the business people get off? The tax breaks that this administration just passed, the businesses, they received all kinds of tax breaks. We lost tax breaks. So once again, they have enough money to do this, and they should do it because it's their responsibility, because they're the one they're destroying the roads.
Well, I personally don't have a problem with the 45 cents, okay? If it's spent wisely, all right? I would suggest to the Governor Whitmer, all right, not only the 45 cents, okay, but also consider a couple toll roads, all right? All right?
In Detroit.
All across, I mean, the main, you know, I mean, 75, 23, 94, 69, okay?
No.
All right?
That would affect us.
A toll road, all right? You see them in other states, all right? To help offset, to get these roads are horrible. I mean, everywhere. I mean, everywhere. Put a tax on these big heavy trucks that you see up and down the roads, all right? Up and down the roads. We've got to do something, okay? We've got to do something. And I hope that the people in Lansing will wise up and come up with a consensus. You know, how are we going to do this? Yeah, 45 cents, that seems a lot, but I mean, I've blown 2 tires, all right?
Yeah.
All right. You know, I'm on my car, okay, busted a spring, because you never know when you're driving down the highway when, you know, up pops a big old hole, all right? 3 rims.
And what is the replacement rule? Because there's a replacement rule. Come on, Henry. If you hit a road, I mean, if you hit a pothole and it's been reported, and it's a certain amount of time that has elapsed, they will assist you with fixing your car. Because you're right.
Good luck.
Well, I was driving down Miller Road, to your point, and I was coming from a doctor's appointment. I hit a hole. It blew out 2 tires, and I had to have my car towed to the Bell Tire because that's how bad it was. But yeah, that's an out-of-pocket expense for me. Nobody cares what I hit. But when I call, because you're supposed to call the road commission to make sure they know that there is a hole there. But there is, so listen, I'm going to bring it back. There is a procedure that you can follow to get them to pay, but it has to be where it's been reported in a certain amount of time and if it haven't been fixed. I'm not talking about fix the roads and blocking traffic and throwing gravel. I'm not talking about that. We've done that. We got the t-shirt. We're tired of that. We want you to fix the roads where we're driving smoothly and you're not having to dodge in and out of traffic, causing other issues. Yeah, I want that to be fixed, but I think a panel needs to come together and maybe research your point, research other places that are dealing with, because it would be people in the north, because the south deals with a different type of, because when we lay salt and stuff, that helps destroy the roads. So maybe we need to explore other places in the north, and like places like New York and Boston, they get hit with snow all the time. I wonder how their roads are, but they also have tolls, right?
Yeah.
Boston have tolls and New York have tolls?
Ohio.
Okay.
Oh,
so
my goodness.
I'm wondering how they handle, because that's what you do. You go find what works.
Sure.
You don't just create. Sometimes we don't have to recreate the wheel. See what works and then make it fit to us. You know what I mean? Make it fit. Don't make it such a because our gas also is higher than most places. So why, I mean, explore that. Why? Because I think in Michigan, you could just see it on Monday, gas is $2.50. On Tuesday, it's $2.90. On Wednesday, it's $2.75. On Friday, it's $2.99. I mean, what in the world? But when the prices go down, but they say, well, you got to wait till the pumps are, you know, they're empty before you change. I mean, all of that sounds like that's price gouging to me. I mean, because there is no way that the market is changing 5 days a week.
That's true.
So maybe we need to mandate that, you know, make sure, you know, that the gas people are not price gouging us, and then so that 45 cents won't be as hard filled. If I know I go to the pump on Monday and the gas is $2.60, on Tuesday it might be $2.62, but it's not going to be $2.99. You know, all of these things can be explored, because I'm sure everybody else have my frustrations that only in Michigan do we jump on Friday and it jump up 25 cents, and then on Sunday it'll go down, and then on Monday, you know, and you go and you call your friends other places and they don't have this problem. So we got a lot of little issues that we need to handle and to regulate.
And also one thing that people aren't thinking about, or it's not being said, in the state of Michigan, dozens of people have been killed with these ruts in the road and so forth, all right? So we have to take this into consideration too. You know, your life is much more important than some damn rut in the road, you know what I mean? But hopefully Governor Whitmer, I'm talking to her about a month ago, she said that, you know, she's working on it, but seems like the Republicans are a little resistant to that. Maybe there's no ruts where they live, you know what I mean? I don't know, but something's got to get done with these ruts. Henry, I know you got ruts out there where you live.
Yeah, sure. And Jackie, to your point, where there's a kit that they have, they can draw money out of, and just pay you for the tires that you lose. They don't have that kit. They don't even have enough money to repair the roads. So that's highly speculative that someone will find money to pay for taxes, or pay for road hazards that occur while you're using public roads. It's just not realistic. But I have to agree that we do need some taxes to take care of our roads. But and Ron has said that he doesn't object to the 45 cents per gallon. Well, I wouldn't object to that either, as long as Governor Whitmer does not raid the education fund,
right,
doesn't raid the health care fund, and draw that money down and put it on roads. I'm against it.
Specifically.
Because education cannot take any more cuts. Health care cannot take any cuts. So when you go out and dream up all of this fluff and throw it out for the public to regurgitate, it amounts to nothing. And we're misleading our public. We need to make sure that we have enough money to run government. And government, the cost of government goes up every year, just like your food taxes go up, or your food costs go up. And so and I don't think that the Republicans are so much against Governor Whitmer's tax policy that she proposes, but the problem that they have is how to do it, where to take it without hurting the promises that they've made to their own constituencies. Republicans have. So it's a difficult thing. I think we will get it done, and whether it comes from estate taxes or sales taxes or local government taxes or other types of excise taxes, I don't know, or a combination of those. But I hope the taxes that they put on the roads will be renewable, will be adequate, and will be reliable.
Almost a closed fund.
Yeah, it's got to be reliable so that 10 years from now we don't have to go through and tear up all of the roads, and it's got to be a perpetual fund that runs off of tax dollars.
But with that also too, you need quality materials in these roads.
Right.
You don't need these shysters, you know what I mean, that claim they own construction companies, and put garbage down there, all right, as roads, and then two weeks later you got to repave stuff. They have to be bonded. They must be bonded, all right. So if their work is shoddy, okay, the state can sue these companies, okay, because there's going to be companies coming out of the woodwork, okay, if this materializes, all right, to get a piece of that. We're talking about billions of dollars.
Yeah, billions.
All right, not millions. We're talking about billions of dollars to rebuild.
Correctly,
correctly, and it has to be done correctly.
Yeah.
Technologically and scientifically, it's there. So let's use it, okay? Let's not get some of this, no shoddy work, period. It's the bottom line.
And Jackie, I wanted to touch upon your issue. They're dealing with the road tax on trucks, businesses versus individuals who own cars and stuff like that. Part of the cost of the taxes that they assess for roads that ought to be coming out of Detroit, Wayne County, and the counties that border Michigan. You got to have those heavy taxes on trucks and on cars, because we don't have a perimeter around our state where people can approach it in all different ways. Every other state does. We do not have that. So therefore we have to put as much load on a truck possible to come up through that peninsula that they have to cross.
I agree.
Yeah. So that's why the cost assessment is so different in Detroit. And our insurance, our geography doesn't allow us to benefit from a perimeter that can be sort of supported from all directions.
I just thought of something. The Secretary of State increased our registration and all that because it was supposed to go towards roads. You remember that? Where is that money?
Well, that money is just, that's not very much money.
How is it when every car is registered? How is that not enough
But that
money?
goes to administration of the department of that takes care of licenses and stuff like
But
that.
they purposely said they increased it so that we can help use some of that money for roads. That's what they told us.
Yeah, they might have told you that, but you don't see that as a really big source of money to support
Well,
roads.
you can't tell us that if that's not.
Well, we
You know
can.
what I'm saying?
Well, that was a Republican.
You remember when they told us
administration.
that? That's why.
Republicans, yeah.
That's why they told us that
But they
our
can't
registration
they
had
can't-
went up so much.
They can't condemn it. They have to sell it to you the way that you can accept it. Guys, please.
Don't act like we okay with
don't
being
have to
crooked.
accept it.
If you tell me that my secretary, that my registration, because they went up substantially, because it's based on the weight of your car now.
Yeah.
It's not even like it used to be. The
You
value.
can see that it's not working.
But I'm saying
we don't have
you
enough money
told
to-
us that
yeah.
that's what our increase was for, because it was going to go towards the roads.
As long as it lasted. But our roads were so bad, they didn't have adequate money for it.
But
they
that
only
brought-
had $2.1 billion.
But that brought me to another point. You know how it tells you that you have to remember where you come from. And I used to live in Mount Morris. And it's sad because my mother still lives there. When I go to their neighborhood, it's totally different from my neighborhood. When you get off the highway to go to my house, you're not dodging 500 potholes. You're not on my street, you're not dodging a million potholes. And so that's another thing that we need to look at, because the upkeep
We
of
need
roads.
to assess the people in Grand Blanc more money to compensate for those in Mount Morris.
Oh, you have
The
flipped
people
out.
with the money should be able to subsidize other people.
No,
That's how our
no, I
tax
don't
system
know.
works. That's how
and you know
sorry,
what? You're
but that's
right,
how it
because
works.
my taxes is probably 5 times what everybody else's taxes are.
Yeah.
But my point is, we do pay the tax, because my house taxes are ridiculous.
Yeah.
But my point is, when they get ready to repair, I need them to repair properly. I need them to just go into the the rural areas and make sure that they're replacing those streets as well, because they're not doing it.
But have you taken stock of roads and communities like you live in? Some of them, the roads are just pitiful in these little subdivisions. Big holes, chunks of dirt is showing in the middle of the road, and that's because the people don't have enough tax assessment to keep those roads going the way that they have.
And with that, we must bring the In My Opinion show to a close. This has been a very interesting conversation. We're hoping that Governor Gretchen Whitman fix the damn roads. Those are your words. That's what you said you were going to do. Fix the damn roads. Until next time, stay focused.